Not that many people in the audience, but we will make do with what we have. So, hello, welcome, GM everyone, to the 66th ShapeShift Weekly Governance Call. This November 17th. Seeing some more people come in. Happy to see that. GM everybody, welcome, welcome. All right, we're going to get started here, and those who trickle in will be able to catch up on the slides, or you just follow along as they get here. So let's see here. For anyone who is new, we might have a couple new people in the audience. Quick overview of the process here. This is ShapeShift's weekly governance call. We talk all things governance. We give the opportunity for people that may have posted some things in the forum or incubation or any part of the governance process, even if a proposal, to come up on stage and talk about any of the things that they have proposed, as well as just talk about governance in general. Audience members can ask questions by raising their hand, be invited on stage, or even in the stage chat. So feel free to communicate in the stage chat. I will attempt to look at that every so often and answer any questions that might have been typed in there. We have, let's see, we have these slides that will be aired on our couple media sites. So we'll have it on Twitch. It may be streamed later on YouTube as uploaded video. But if you want to follow along live on Twitch, please feel free at ShapeShift or twitch.tv/ShapeShiftDAO. Let's see, what else do we have? A little bit of housekeeping here to make sure. Yeah, that's pretty much that. There is a format that we like to follow, and that would be, first we start off with some appreciations that I will generally give a couple appreciations myself, and then I will read from our Fox Props channel on our Discord server, and also anyone else who wants to give up some Fox Props to community members or anyone. They can either in the stage chat, or they can raise their hand, or if they have the capabilities, can jump on stage and join me up here in appreciating our fellow contributors to the DAO. So without further ado, let me start with appreciation. I will say we have made very big strides within the short time that the DAO has been here, a little over a year. Coming up on my anniversary, probably within a day or two, or if not already, of working within the DAO as a full-time contributor. So I just want to share my appreciations with all those community members, paid contributors, full-time contributors, part-time contributors, bounty hunters, anything and everything. It's always enjoyable to build together, and I appreciate everyone who puts forth the effort and tries to make the community a better place, and build on a great opportunity to try to create something dynamic, fresh, new, whatever you want to call it. And we're working through this bear market, and we're doing our best to continue on. And I know a lot of effort and a lot of thought and a lot of conversation has gone into the future and what we can do. So thank you everyone for all of that. I'm going to take a quick look at the Fox Props channel, and then I'll look after that on stage chat. So if you want to get any of yours in there, go ahead. And I see Willie joined the stage, so I'm going to give Willie the opportunity while I'm reading the Fox Props in the channel. I'll let Willie go ahead and say something as well.
Perfect. I figured I'd stall for you for a sec. Never was. And I got a big double appreciation today for both PTT and HPain. Both those dudes are awesome. I'll probably post this in Fox Props too, but both of them have been helping out a ton with the product strategy stuff and putting together the business cases, which is very much appreciated. And they're also taking over a lot of the partnership work. They've been pushing stuff forward with ETH Denver. And I really just I see those guys doing everything they can every day to contribute to the DAO, always having a super positive attitude, and always looking for ways that they can help out. So huge appreciation to both of you guys, PTT and HPain.
Sorry about that. Awesome. Yep. Definitely HPain. That PTT guy, I don't know sometimes, but nah. Let's see here. I'm sure I'll hear about that. I'm and reading off some props, Fox props. We have Apotheosis, props to Firebomb for the banger product suggestions. That was probably on a call that we had. That was a very good call not too long ago. As well as other places. I see Firebomb is very much involved in helping not only ops and other things like with testing and looking for things and translations and he's everywhere. So yeah, appreciations to Firebomb. Firebomb wrote back, thanks for the compliment. And to product in general for listening to his ramblings, but no, he always has good things to say. Age Pain, speaking of which, props to T Wells and Sapote for absolutely killing it in the Twitter and video content land. We had some huge wins this week, all thanks to the awesome work you two are doing. So Fox props to that. Yes, I've had the opportunity to talk with T Wells and Sapote. Very enjoyable. Great conversation. Look forward to the continued contributing of both those individuals. So thank you there. We then had a return appreciation from T Wells to H Payne, appreciate you, sir. And glad they were able to capture some of Eric's highlights. And just talking about all that went down there. We have Gomez, mad props to Firebomb for taking ownership of a breaking change spotted with Boardroom's API and submitting this his first logic rated pull request, which got merged. Yes, definitely. Like I said, I've seen Firebomb in a lot of things and very happy to see him submitting PRs and making things happen. So I will also say that, and Firebomb obviously saw that and returned. Thanks. I've put off setting up the dev environment for too long. I definitely know what you mean by that, Firebomb. I did put it off for a long time too, but think I got it running on a couple machines now. So I hear you. H Pain, another Fox prop. Fox props to Arena for being absolute rock star with carrying the torch on the new Hourglass marketing campaign and making things so smooth there. With a mega quick turnaround, you're absolutely fantastic. And she saw that and came back and said that he was awesome as well. So we have some good Fox props there going back and forth within the community. So as always, glad to see that. I'm going to check the stage chat real quick and see what we have going on in here. Let's see. PTT, positive attitude. Yeah, I hear you, H-Pain. I don't know about that. Anyways, let's see. What do we got here? To be honest, never was. Are you wearing pants? Yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't, but yep, whatever. All right, back to our point here. Thank you, everyone, for the appreciations. Willie, thank you for jumping up on stage. Thank you, everyone who posted in the Fox Props channel. It's always nice to see that everyone is willing to share those appreciations. All right, so we do have some activity this week, but it is still a little bit quieter than normal. We do not have any active proposals as far as the proposal stage for voting, but I believe we will have some very soon. Past proposals, nothing's recently passed over the last week, so we don't have to worry about that. And then everyone, I'm sure you're aware, but there might be some people on the call that we did recently transition real quickly to Metaphoro for our new form. So if you're not acquainted with that, please take the time to get signed up. You can sign up with, I believe, your crypto wallet as well as username and password, or you can just migrate your information over from the last forum. But please definitely join that and chime in there, speak your mind, post It's very we'd like to see it very active in there because that's really where we try to hold all these conversations and communication, as well as in Discord where there's a couple channels set up. But yeah, if you're not there, get over there and check it out. All right, so here's what we do have a little bit of activity here. We have some new ideation posts. So first, I will ask John to come up just because in the order of things that we have here, and this for ideation post SCP 111, Shapeshift Fox Chain Proposal Phase 2. And actually, John, you don't have to come up if you don't need to. We did talk about this, last week. I know you talked about it extensively in the tokenomics calls. But here he is. I will give him the opportunity though, just in case he has anything new to add from it, moving from just the forum into ideation. GM, sir.
GM, thank you, Never Was. Yeah, I'll be a little briefer than last time since we've talked about this a few times now. But yeah, this is the proposal to create what we are proposing and terming the Archeo workstream and launch the Archeo blockchain. There's a lot of good stuff in there. The proposal is to effectively elect Chad from Thorchain as the workstream leader of this, and to produce and launch the Archeo blockchain, which will hopefully become the decentralized source for decentralized node data if we do this right, which is a big goal and one that we think will both help decentralize Shapeshift and decentralize the world. So that's all super cool. So yeah, this moved to ideation just yesterday. So please go signal your thoughts about it when you get a chance. The main changes were incorporating some language around a proof of concept and what we expect in the testnet phase and the spec of that. Thank you to Ocean and DeFi and Willie and some others for feedback around that. There's also been a slight change to the airdrop spec as posted by Willie and Ocean in the thread during the incubation stage, where we basically move what was going to be a potential airdrop bucket to DAO, other Ethereum DAO participants, to basically being ecosystem grants. So we could still grant those, but it would be up to governance. And that adjusted some of the numbers, but that's really the only other thing that changed. So I have links to that all in the forum. Feel free to go join in that discussion, or if you have other thoughts, please post in the ideation thread. And yeah, looking forward to seeing this moving forward. I think it's really cool.
Definitely. Awesome. Thanks, John. And I appreciate you picking up the banner on this and really like carrying it through for everyone in the community. It's great to see your capabilities as a communicator and just a facilitator in general to help, ensure that this is, moving forward, and we're getting, the community involvement here, as well as other communities like, Thor Swap and, the Thor, everyone else everywhere in the community. I mean, now you talk about this all over the place. This has been brought up internationally at different events. So it's great to see that it is moving forward. And I'm very happy to see Son of Odin and others involved as well. So it's great to see. Thank you. Next up, we have, let's see, Ideation Post SCP-110, and this is Cosmos Validator renewal. I know that we've talked about this a little bit, and it's been in the forum and given time to everyone to digest and have questions and stuff. So I will invite both members from Taxi Stake up on stage. GM, gentlemen, I'll give you the stage and allow you to talk about your now ideation post.
Hey, GM.
GM.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for having us up. We put this up yesterday, and it's already gathered 6 million yes votes, which is awesome to see the support. I thought about this way too long and way too hard, so really grateful to see that turnout.
Yeah, is there any questions that people have on it? We put in the ideation post, we looked at feedback we got from the forum, and we made some changes there and pretty much put them in the top of the ideation post. And I think they're straightforward, and it seems like based on votes that they were positive. But yeah, if there's any questions, we're happy to answer them.
Yeah. I'll do the TLDR on the changes based on feedback from the forum and talking to DAO members. Dropping the DAO requirement to buy atoms is understandable given runway conditions and yada yada. So that was dropped. We made a compromise and conceded 5% of the commission split. So from 70% to 75%. Did I do that right? 80 to 75, sorry. So we made a compromise there, allowed the inclusion of the ICF delegations because we have no idea what that will be. Hopefully, because of the DAO, it will be much larger. So yeah, that was feedback we received for allowing that to be included in the goal. Let's see, still requiring the multi-sig for atoms for the DAO. TBD on how that happens, but that's in there still. And we kind of changed the language from 10% of hard atoms delegated to we will commit to delegating some atoms back to the self-bonded grid address. So yeah, really appreciated the discussions that were had and community involvement. We have a meeting with the marketing work stream and PTT tomorrow just to kind of go into some more details. And one of the more important pieces of feedback we got was from the marketing work stream that, yeah, we should have come to y'all first if we were asking things from your work stream. So yeah, all that considered, really excited to see really strong support and yeah, available to answer further questions. And we'll try to get this into, sorry, I'm seeing HPain, but we'll try to get this to the next stage. Like next week is a holiday in the US, but we'll try to like make sure that there's enough voting time, but try to get it done by the end of the month. So yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey Josh, GM.
I'm big fans of Taxi Steak, as most people know, and definitely Marley and Sco know. What is this? So I think this is acceptable for me. I'm still a little on the sticker shock on the split, but so I'm wondering what's your thought process behind that? Is that because of how much you're losing on the other coins that this is how you're making that up, or like just what was the thought process around such a drastic change on the profit switch or the rewards?
Yeah. I think that Scott, he was trying to talk, but he had a really good reply about some like industry standards and stuff. And the other piece is that this is a shorter proposal to be more flexible. A year in crypto land is a very, very, very long time. Scott, do you want to say something there? I saw you light up.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you read all the different the forum posts and everything that we put in the replies that we have on there, I think we have a lot of information in there of why we did this drastic switch. I think the biggest thing, right, is that the delegations are on a steady decline compared to the other validators as far as delegations are concerned. This is a special case validator. We Taxi Stake 100% purchased this, out of pocket to start this, and got us on the active set through our own investment and also through other private investment, which we've actually done for all the validators that we run for ShapeShift. And so I think it's in there. We definitely wanted to see more involvement on the DAO's end. We've been waiting for a lot of different things to be implemented as far as a communication around, hey, delegate to ShapeShift validator, and what does that mean when we delegate to the ShapeShift validators, any of them? And features, still waiting on things like Osmos. We will have another proposal for all the other validators. At Taxi Stake, we've been doing a lot of things to try to streamline the costs of running the different validators and such. So we will have different proposals on that. But I think this guy is kind of a special case. And the reversal, I think, is all in there. I also compared it to kind of what are some standard licensing, marketing, and franchise type fees in there. I don't know. I feel like we've explained it a lot and it's all in there, but if there's something specific that you have, I'm happy to go into it.
That's fair enough. I did not read through everything in the forum, so I will take that on me to do that. And then I see that this says that it's a I see in one place it says this is a 3-month term. Is there an end date? I don't really see an end date in this proposal.
I guess we didn't put specific. Oh, go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a good point. We actually tried to pull some information out because it gets really long. And essentially, the last one ended November 1st, and we've just been holding those rewards, waiting for this to pass, and then this would run November to February. So, like, no lapse.
Yeah, no, but gotcha. I think when it goes to official vote, right? I think it should say November to February. Because just so we know that, okay, this is for that long, and then we'll see another one that will start in March, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's fair.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. Okay.
We were, waiting to see. I'm super thrilled to see 6 million votes in 24 hours. So that's it's looking like it'll move forward and pass. So yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks for the communication there, Josh, and jumping up on stage and your questions. I see H-Pain jumped up on here. I know he is driving, but H-Pain, go ahead if you can. I'll allow you to ask some of your questions.
Yeah, hey, so I'm driving through a really sus area, so if I just drop out, just like let me know. So the big thing, I think we were able to align sort of offline on some of the things that we brought up. The big thing that was sort of brought up at post that call was voting specifically with that validator. With the DAO, with that being sort of a white label DAO validator, we were sort of caught flat-footed on the recent Cosmos 2.0 voting. And so we wanted to, in this new proposal, say, hey, like, look, if we're doing this rev share and, we're having DAO members contribute to, the DAO validator where we're voting on, where we want to vote, I guess we would like to see sort of a mechanism to do that sort of voting with the DAO validator, or at least have a conversation about how we can, communicate where we're going to be positioning that voting. So I guess that was the biggest one off the top of my head. I'm sure there are like other points within the thing that are just sort of less significant, but that was the big thing I sort of wanted to hear more about, because I think that's really important as a decentralized community. If I'm like a member and I stake 20 Atom to a validator, it'd be really cool if I could use my Fox to then vote on sort of where that validator's voting in regards to some of these ecosystem proposals. So I just wanted to sort of start that discussion.
Yeah, sweet. This was brought up at least one other time, and I'm open to it, but the DAO would have to propose, have some kind of method for doing that. It's pretty technically complicated and the timeframes are usually pretty tight. Like some proposals have like a 3-day turnaround. So just like in the practicality of like votes from Fox translating to, I love the idea, but it takes the onus of us too. But in implementation, that's challenging. So I would love to figure that out. I hadn't heard any feedback from 2.0. That was a particular contentious piece, and with all of the drama going on in the crypto world right now, we decided not to tweet about it. We did we did wait till the end of the proposal. I don't want to go too far into Atom 2.0, but we did wait till the end of the proposal to see how things were shaking out and see how our delegators were voting also was important. And another really important piece is if you disagree, you can always override the vote. Your a individual delegator's vote trumps a validator's vote. So if validator votes yes, but you really feel a strong no, that gets precedence if you also vote on behalf. So we just have the default, if that makes sense. But I skimmed this and it did come out. So I think we can definitely work together on this, though. Sorry, that was a lot of words.
Yeah, no, that was great. I was also, like, prefacing all this, I don't really completely understand and have a full grasp on voting within the validator ecosystem, but I thought that would be a really cool thing to, like, address in a new proposal such as this, where it's like, hey, like, you know, this is the new thing, and we'd also like to just, I mean, and maybe it's even something as simple as like, hey guys, like, we're gonna be voting as this, like, just so you know, like that's how it is, and maybe more communication there.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was just the whole thing.
Yeah,
Nice.
I like the idea. Yeah, I love the idea behind that, because that's great. I think that's something that we definitely should work for. But I think to just kind of to point out what Sean said about the voting, even if you've delegated to the validator, it's kind of like if the validator votes, those get counted as the way the validator votes, unless the individual delegators change their votes, and then the votes get changed to that. So that's a good thing. But definitely also, if feel free to reach out in like the validators channel, or in general or something, if there's something that you think we need a larger discussion around, like a different vote or something, we're definitely happy to jump in, and always welcome to hear comments and feedback on governance stuff, for sure. But I love the idea.
I suppose like the initial thing here was just like we were like, oh yeah, like we're super pro Atom 2.0. Like as a marketing work stream, we decided, okay, cool, we're going to be super pro this, and so then we created a bunch of content, and then we said, hey, like, what do you guys think about Atom 2.0? And we got a bunch of comments and DMs and like, hey, like, what the heck, guys? Like, you said no with veto. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Pardon my language. And so then we had to scrap all of that content, and so we were like, okay, cool. Like, if it's the DAO validator, like, it should stand for what the DAO wants, but then that's sort of unclear in terms of like, the branding of the DAO versus like the individual contributors. So I just want to see, somehow we can collaborate with some sort of like messaging and or like value alignment in terms of where we see the direction of the validators. Because like it is like, if it's gonna be white labeled as a Shapeshift validator, like I think it's like you said, like people can change their votes on vote how they want. But I think from like a branding perspective, like it's a like a stick in the mud, or not a stick, a firm line that we're like, hey, like we stand by this, or like we don't stand by this. I think that's really, really important to align on that.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% agree.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I hadn't heard that it got back to you either. And like with all of the craziness in the last week, like Atom 2.0 was definitely one of the things. So also try not to like make waves in the middle of that. But like, again, this discussion is probably, we could go on longer about 2.0. So yeah, I just want to respect the rest of the gov call.
Yeah, totally. I'm done. That's all I had. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, thank you,
I got
everyone.
a lot of DMs about it too. So.
No, well, thank you, and appreciate the questions, and as always, the communication around all things, not just Taxi Stake, but just the DAO in general. Both of you are very big contributors to the DAO, and you're always available for questions and communicating with others, and it's great to just see that continue. So thank you both, Marley and Scotch, for that.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have one last ideation post, and this is SCP-109. We've already had this person up a couple of times talking about this. Not sure if he wants to come up and continue, but being that it went to ideation, he might have made some changes, so I will give him the opportunity. PTT, Cruiser, GM, sir, I will let you go ahead and take it from there.
No changes other than putting it in the proper governance format. And making sure I laid out specifically how stuff is going to be paid out, so that way there's no ambiguity there, and I can work with the multi-sig to do so after Ethember. But the plan would be to compensate any of the people up for the first 10 that complete their up to 10 hours or up to 9 hours of helping out at the booth at Ethember for people that are coming in. And maybe I do need to do a little bit. I'd love some feedback. I haven't really gotten much. There's like 4 votes only in the first one, and I moved it just for terms of time. So if anyone wanted to go check it out and give some feedback on the updated language, that'd be appreciated.
Sounds good. Yep, everyone, please understand that this process works when everyone's involved. So, the proposers and the different phases that they go through, they definitely would like feedback and questions, and be able to address those things as well as adapt anything to meet a more defined point within the community itself and what the community is looking for to get a better chance at getting it passed. So please always take the opportunity to read about these things in the forum and get a better understanding and ask questions and go from there. So, all right, next, thank you, BTT, for coming up again. Next, we have there's one new forum post, and I know that Ocean might not be able to come up just because he stated that he might not have good coverage where he was at, but I do see him in the audience listening. So if he wants to type on the stage chat, if it works better, that's fine. This is a new post to be determined, handover of account ownership and administration to the DAO. And Willie's going to jump up and talk about this with Ocean if he needs it. But I know that Ocean has been very helpful in his role at the foundation, as well as a great contributor to the community at just pushing forward the decentralization of stuff and getting things transferred over to the DAO and stuff. So this is a continuation of that work. GM, gentlemen.
GM, Ocean, are you going to test your mic? I can go ahead and jump in, assuming that you're not in good cell service area right now. Thanks for the intro, Never Was, and thank you, Ocean, for putting this proposal together. I'll drop a link in the stage chat. You want to check out?
Yeah,
try your mic
go
out?
for it, man. I think it's going to be really rough on my end.
Your voice sounds so good, but it was a little choppy. I'm happy to cover.
Okay. Thanks, Willie. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So this proposal covers a couple different things. The core of it, the goal is to hand over account ownership and administration from the foundation to the DAO. And Ocean's put together a plan for how we can achieve this. Basically, the idea is that the Fox Foundation would create and fund a 1Password account to store the credentials for a list of accounts that's included in the proposal. Things like Twitter, NPM.js, Notion, YouTube, Fleek, until the DAO itself can manage the Fleek account. And we would appoint a group, a committee, basically, to have access to these passwords. And the idea is that that committee would consist of the ShapeShiftDAO multi-sig signers and any workstream leader that has tenure greater than 1 year. So folks like Tyler and Giant Kin. And though that committee would be responsible for basically keeping these accounts secure in 1Password, and they would have the ability to go in and add user-level accounts for DAO contributors. And the foundation would still maintain access to these accounts to handle billing, because we're still paying a lot of these bills in fiat. And the idea is that the committee would have the ability to add new user-level accounts. So it's possible that the costs would be increased for some of these accounts that we have based on some of the changes that the committee would have access to make. So the proposal stipulates that the DAO would need to request approval from the foundation anytime that a change was going to be made that would increase the billing for any of these different accounts. And if any of these accounts or changes were made and the bill was increased without seeking approval first from the DAO, from the foundation, we would ask that the DAO would reimburse the foundation for those expenses within 30 days. There's some password guidelines listed there as well that the security workstream put together a while ago to help minimize the risk of the accounts being compromised. But yeah, this is the plan for starting to hand over some of these accounts. We are retaining access to some other accounts. So you can see in the post the accounts that would be handed over and the accounts that would be retained by the foundation for the time being. And yeah, eventually the goal is, of course, to give control of all of the accounts over to the DAO, and or maybe some of these accounts will go away because they're no longer needed. Some of the accounts that we'll be holding on to, for example, are like the Apple Store and Google Play Store, which do require a legal entity. So yeah, this would be kind of the first experiment to hand over some accounts that are lower risk, but still accounts that we can't just give everybody access to, because these sensitive credentials, these owner admin accounts, have the ability to change, remove other users, or delete the account, or affect billing. So plan is to start by handing over these accounts to this trusted committee who will be responsible for keeping them secure and making sure that any increases in billing are requested to the foundation beforehand. And yeah, if that goes well, then that can inform how we hand over the rest of the accounts in the future.
Awesome. Thanks for the explanation. I posted it in the stage chat, but just as a side note, I know that Bitwarden is an open source product. All their code is available for auditing, as well as they have free tier, but they do have paid versions as well for a little bit more feature sets. But just as maybe an alternative to something that's closed source, and you know, I know it's very popular, but anyways, there's other options that I'm sure out there, and I'm sure you guys will make an informed decision when it comes time to selecting the provider that would store those credentials.
Sweet. Yeah, thanks for sharing that feedback. Never was. We'll check out Bitwarden.
Cool. Sounds good. Everyone else, please head over there and check out that post. As stated, Ocean is very thorough when he puts these things out there, as all the foundation members are, and he definitely will respond to any communication and questions of the community. So feel free if you have any questions to ask him. But I know that before he does these posts, he puts a lot of thought into them. So feel free to pick his brain if you choose to. All right, that is let's see, everything as far as new. We do have things that are not too old here. And we do have something with the governance voting, enhanced shielding voting. I know that CJ the Kid is not able to attend today, and I know that Willie came up and talked about this a little bit last week. We don't have to go over it again. Just know that this is in the forum, and if you need a little bit more information on it, please feel free to take a look at it as well. It's very interesting, whereas you can basically keep during the voting process, you can keep the voters' wallet addresses and identities shielded, and this is in hopes of basically allowing everyone the ability to vote without having pressures of feeling that their vote won't matter, and giving the opportunity to just basically express your opinion from the information that you've read and gathered and understand, and not worry that your vote will basically not be something that counts towards the end goal. And then after obviously the vote closes, I think that it becomes available that all the information is shown, and you can then follow along after the fact. But anyways, it's very interesting. There's some work to be done on it still. It's a newer thing that's being put out there, but it's definitely worth the read to check it out. So do that. Thank you. And that's about it for as far as what we have new. If anyone has any questions or would like to talk about anything about governance, would be the time now to do so. I'll leave it open for a couple of seconds. Let me see here. Just some talk about what we were talking about. Teams, 3 user, $3. Yeah. Eric on CoinDesk Twitter space right now. There you go. Marley just posted that Eric is on CoinDesk Twitter space right now. If anyone wants to go visit over there after this call is ending shortly in a little bit. Let's see here. Just some more discussion about that. Okay. Some more discussion there on handing over the accounts, and see, as I stated, Ocean is there and he's talking about the things that might be needed, and the communication is great, so follow along there as well. Yep, I guess let me see if anyone has their hand up here in the audience. Great to see some old faces revisiting the DAO. I know I called out Lorex Dude earlier. Hadn't seen you in a little bit, but I don't always be in all the calls, so it's good to see you. And I see Tom Elvis and some others that have been around for quite some time in the DAO. So thank you everyone for jumping back in, and appreciate you guys joining us on this governance call today for everybody. And see you around. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. GM.